Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome to another video with me, Crazy Skin Dog, here from sunny Castle Combe. No, it started raining. It was nice and sunny earlier, but no, it started raining now just ahead of our event. Yeah, today, round 1, SRK Championship 2023. And yeah, mega excited for this one, can't wait to get started. Obviously, last year finished 4th in SRK2 class. I'm competing in that class again. And the 3 that finished ahead of me aren't competing in SRK2 this year. They're either moved on or they're competing in the SRK1 class. So really looking forward to seeing how we get on. Coming in fairly confident. Obviously haven't finished 4th last year, and the 3 in front not being people I'm competing with anymore. I should be aiming to win the title this year. But we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of new drivers. The grid is much bigger this year. So yeah, a lot more challenges, and this rain definitely makes it a little bit more of a lottery here at Combe. Obviously it's quite hard to overtake, and the wet line is just ridiculous. Here it's just, yeah, I've never seen a wet line like it. You just drive around the outside barriers for the most part, because that's where all the grip is. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting event. Looking to take the win in my class. Obviously last year I took a P2 here in class and got a podium, my first podium. So definitely hoping to replicate or beat that this year and get the championship started off on a strong foot. Don't want any early dropped rounds, want to keep those in my pocket for later. But yeah, we're a little bit out from practice. The juniors finals are going on at the moment, and yeah, we'll see how practice goes and update after heats as usual. So we'll see how those heats go.
Okay guys, so here we go, the start of SRK 2023. It's round 1 here at Castle Combe, as I said in the intro. This is our home track, the home track of our team, Swift Cooper Racing, and yeah, we're looking forward to this one massively. It's a bit of a lottery in these conditions, as you'll see. It's a bit damp still, but we get a decent start. Gonna stick to the right hand side, which is very slippery, and it kind of opens up, so we go to take the inside. It's looking good, and then that little bit of contact with Adrian there, and I just put my foot down a little bit too much, caused me to spin. Then I kind of get stuck near the barrier but not quite in it. It was just a bit scrappy, a little bit of a mistake, shake of the head, and that is possibly the worst way our season could start. But it's wet, anything can happen, and I was quick in practice. I know my way around Castle Combe, and as we can see, they're kind of battling ahead, and you can see that crazy wet line here, just so wide, so tentative on the throttle, and just waiting for it to grip up the whole way. This corner here, as we come around the last 2 corners, that was surprisingly wet. It doesn't look too bad there, but it was definitely hold on and hope time. The hairpin was just changing all day, and this chicane was still full wet, so that is the wrong line that I've taken there. I got to get further right, and I've just slid. You can see I've gone sideways in both directions all the way up the hill. Super wide entry up the top here, easy on the throttle, get it pointed downhill. And then this was pretty dry actually. This was probably the easiest corner of the track for once. And yeah, so we're feeling good though. We're getting in our flow, starting to feel where the grip is. You can see it's a little bit better inside there, so we're already starting to take that bit of a drier line. And then this is a much better line through there, although it's not fantastic. I want to be even further right after the right of the chicane there to really get me good drive up the hill. But you can see I've started to catch the pack. That guy's got on the throttle a bit too early and spun, so we'll take that position, thank you very much. And yeah, it's just head down here. It's shortened to 6 lap heats because of the wet conditions. It's not a lot of time to get much done, especially after a mistake at the start. So yeah, it's just all about as fast as we can getting involved, seeing where we can find some grip. See, can we get the chicane right this time? It's not great. It's not great. You see, you just slide right into the barrier on the right hand side there, just getting too much onto that slippery racing line. But you'll see we're catching up quite nicely around the top here. I ended up, my fastest lap was a good 1.5 seconds faster than these guys around me in this heat. You can see just how much I'm catching up through the S's down the hill here and across the line, ready just to make a move. So we'll see if we can make it stick. We go for the wide entry and the switchback, but there's enough grip on the inside, but he slid to the barrier. So now we're going to go for that full wet line round the outside here. That's where we want to be, on this nice dry patch. and even though I lost a bit of time to him early on, I'm just going to make it back all the way up the hill. We got a yellow flag ahead, and at the time I didn't see. It's going to sound bad. At the time, the yellow flag didn't register in my head. The guy ahead was just wide, going slow, and I saw a gap. And I'm not sure what the wave arm from Goose is there. I don't know if he's mad at himself. He certainly shouldn't be mad at me for a little bit of contact through a section that was flat out because he's going too slow. But yeah, was a questionable overtake, it seems, on the video there. I definitely think I got away with one a bit there. Honest answer, I was so focused on trying not to spin and just keeping the grip up. I didn't even register that there was a yellow flag there, and that I probably shouldn't have gone for an overtake. So that was, yeah, lucky, I guess. We'll take it. We'll take the recovery. Stupid mistake at the start, but we'll take the recovery come the end and see if it can only get better from here. Here we go then, heat 2. And we start 6th in this one. It started to dry up a bit, so the line is just changing all the time. It's drying at different rates in different parts of the track. We're starting next to Sam Slater, so we're definitely going to try and follow him through. Waiting for the green light, get our head around that familiar looking helmet. Green light, away we go. And it's all a pretty even start all round, so we're going to try and get right and follow Sam up the inside there. That's where we want to be. And obviously it's just argy-bargy in the middle, and now we know that Sam's going to be faster up the hill here, so we're going to follow Sam round that slightly wider line for the wet line. But this guy slides across just in front of us, even though we got better drive. But we're going to look round the outside, see what we can get going. There's more grip there. You see he gets a little bit of slide, we get alongside, and we are through, and that is a sweet move round the outside the top corner. And then Sam Slater and Iceman ahead having a bit of a battle, and we see Sam make the move, and we're just going to do that prime, get in right behind him and get the move done. And that is, oh no, he's fought back, but we're on the inside for the right hand line here, and we turn in, and unfortunately that is a very slippery part of the track, and Iceman to our left went for a bit of skating, I'm afraid, on some very wet track. It's just a part of the track you shouldn't be on in these conditions. And unfortunately I was in the right, well, fortunately for me, I was on the right side of the track, and that's given Sam a bit of space ahead though. But we've made up a couple of places. We're up to 4th from 6th on the grid. We see this guy go for the wet line, and right now we're going to see the difference between the wet line and the dry line. So he's gone for the dry line up the inside, and he's just slid, and we've taken the grippier wet line around the outside, and we just snuck in the gap that he'd left. A little bit slower than we would have been stuck behind him, but we've just managed to take the right line, and then hopefully now round the top and down the hill we've pulled away a bit, and this has started to become full dry here. You see I've committed on that lap, but then here this is still full wet. So this is what I mean by the changeable conditions. From the gap to turn 1 of the hairpin to turn 2 and 3 of the chicane, you're going from the dry line to the full wet line, and then up the top here is just wherever you can find grip. It was all over the place. And then this section's flat out. This is fully dry conditions. So yeah, it was a really weird lap at this point in the day, but I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm finding the grip. I feel like I've got decent pace, and we can see Sam and the guy ahead having a bit of a battle. We're going to take that wet line now. We're going to get ourselves a little bit on the slippery dry line, but it's okay because the off line is dry enough now that we can get away with that bit. You see we're just getting tighter and tighter to that apex at the top corner. It's still not full dry line, but we're getting more comfortable with it. And we're still on the reduced laps heat, so that's a P4 for us in that heat. And happy with that. That felt like a good drive. I felt on it. I made good places up. I made some sweet moves. The move around the outside and then the move around the chicane, taking the wet line properly. That really felt good. Sets us up good for our 3rd and final heat. Heat 3, and this is our furthest forward start, so we're starting P2 for this one, and the track is drying out quite a lot now, so we're going to be mostly full dry, I believe. We'll see, but yeah, the track was still changeable in places, so there was still opportunity for those that hadn't got up to speed with the changeable conditions yet, as we wait for the guys at the back to take their positions on the grid. We're waiting for the green light. There it is, away we go. pretty even start, although the right hand side's got a better start than us, and it's dry on the inside, so that usually means that second place loses out to third. And as you see there, Charlie's been loaded by Evans in front, and then we get through the chicane all right. A little bit of side-on contact, but nothing bad. And then let's see what's going to go on ahead. We've realised that inside line is pretty dry, but we couldn't capitalise on it. Don't want to lose too much. In this third heat, we need a great result here to really put us back up those standings after the poor result in heat 1. And then the hairpin again is full dry line now. It looks like it isn't, but it is. And this is just a little lift and then back on the power. But Evans ahead hasn't realised that, but Charlie has, and Evans just turned him into the wall. You can see me pointing there because that is dirty as hell. He's just slammed Charlie down there. And then me and Charlie have had a little bit of contact there, but nothing ill toward with that. He's defended his position well, and left enough space for me to go around the outside. Remember that, because we might see some examples of how not to do it in a moment. And so yeah, as we can see, Evans ahead is just slowing up too much through that chicane, and both me and Charlie ahead here are gaining up the hill. Charlie's going to go for the switchback. I get right up next to both of them, and Charlie's got it done round the outside. Unfortunately, we couldn't follow him. That was our plan, to follow him through when he went, and then have a battle with him over the heat win. But it's still on, and we're going to go for P2 at least. And as we see there, we gain on Evans ahead, and again he's just not taking the right line through the chicane, and we gained on him. He's gone inside, and we've gone round the outside. He's seen us, and he's just turned left, put us in the wall. Luckily that barrier gives away, and I do a lot of hand gesturing and shouting, because that is obviously the best way to react in that situation. But it was very frustrating because both me and Charlie had outdriven him in this heat by quite some way, and the only tactic he could resort to was to ram both of us into the wall, which is just not acceptable driving by any standard. He needs to sort himself out and start racing cleaner, because if he keeps doing that, he's just going to keep picking up penalties. As we see there, he waves his hand. I have a little bit of a laugh about him waving his hand, because that is ridiculous. There's no way you can expect to get away with either of those moves. He's lucky he only got one black and white flag, and fortunately now that promotes us to P2. And now I'm going to tell him, don't do that, because that is bullshit. And he gives me the finger. Yay. I love good sporting competition with fair competitors, and yeah, I'm gonna cut me moaning about him here, because yeah, I just moan a little bit. But yeah, a great result. I'm well happy with that, despite the frustration of the heat. So yeah, that was exactly what we needed.
Okay guys, so we've had the heats, and yeah, that mistake in the first one cost me a little bit. I lost a lot of time, a lot of positions, and a lot of points off the back of that, and 2 points more, and I jump like 8 positions or something. I think I'm 25th, starting middle of the pack in the C final. Podium's not looking likely. There's a couple of guys ahead of me that I don't think are SRK2 drivers, but there we go. Freddie's had a great day, our teammate, and Shane also as well. They're both way up there. So yeah, we're gonna see what comes about, and see what opportunities open up. I've been fast all day, been happy with my performance. A few nice moves, a little bit of argy-bargy as you saw, which yeah, he'll learn, I'm sure, hopefully at some point. If he doesn't, someone will teach him. But yeah, no, great day's racing so far. Good event here as always. It's so tight, it's so hard to overtake, everybody's so close on time that it just ends up being a bit of a lottery. One little mistake and you lose a lot, and there's always a little bit of contact here. But yeah, it's been a good day's racing so far. We'll see how the final goes. Probably not bringing a trophy home, as I say, but we'll get as many points as we can, get a decent result in the bag, and at least I haven't got a strike towards promotion to SRK1, which is a positive, I guess. But yeah, we'll see this final, see how it goes. Catch up after that.
Okay guys, time for the final, and we're in the C final. We're starting 9th in the C final. I think it was 27th overall we were after the heats. So yeah, back of the C final, 10 carts per final, and Zach Swanell's behind us. He's qualified through from the C final. As you see, a really wide entry here just to get into our grid slot. And yeah, there's places to be made here. I think we're lower down than I hope to be, but there we go, looking round Hagen's head there and went for the green light. There it is, away we go. Get a great start. We go right, but Hagen's had the same idea, and that allows Zach through. So we're going to try and switch back on these guys here, which we do, and we see then Hagen and Zach get caught up, and that gives us a position on Zach, and then there's just chaos ahead. Somebody's spun round, Wade comes across sideways there, and because of all that contact we get better drive up the hill. So we've made a bunch of positions there. I believe we're in P6 at this moment, and again we're using that grip that we found on the inside to just get a nice drive round there. Coming down the hill, we're hoping for a good battle between these guys ahead, and hopefully we can get involved and overtake some of them. And there's a Zach Swannell. We knew he was there, and he gives us a super secret hand signal of go, 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 let's work together. And I get better drive than him through there. I give him the hand signal back, just focus ahead. He's an SRK1 driver, and one that I don't particularly want to be side by side with around Castle Combe, because there's a very good chance I will end up stuck in a barrier in that instance. So I've decided to err on the side of caution and trust that he's going to make moves on the guys ahead and just follow him through. And we see Hagen clips a barrier on the inside there, which is going to kill all of his momentum, and then a little bit side contact there, and we're going to look up the inside, but then we decide to switch backs on, and we get through. We got both of them. No, Zach's gonna, yeah, I probably could have stuck my nose up there and stayed ahead of Zach, or battled him through the right left-hander at least. But again, like I said, I'd rather err on the side of caution and not end up stuck in a barrier in the final. I'm P6 with a few laps to go, and 4th and 5th are ahead of me, or close to me, sorry. So I'm relying on my speed to get me there, but then I mess up that top corner. And Matt ahead of Zach there. So Matt's an SRK2 driver, supposedly, but that's a complaint for another time, I think. And Zach's an SRK1 driver, but they both race for the same team, the A team for Zach and the B team for Matt. So I'm fully expecting them to work together in order to maximise Matt's points in comparison to me. But I'm hoping that Zach will try and make a move, and I can capitalise. But as you can see, all three of us are basically on a very similar pace. I actually set the fastest lap of this final, and after the B final I still had the fastest lap, which just before the start of the A final, Sam Slater took great delight in notifying me or reminding me that in the rulebook it says that if you set the fastest lap of the day, then you are automatically promoted into SRK1. And that is the checkered flag there, and we awaited with bated breath for the fastest lap of the A final. So yeah, our finish position there, we took 6th in that final, put us 25th overall and 5th in class. A great day for Swift Cooper B all round, and yeah, a decent result for us. Could have been much better if I'd have not messed up my first heat, and luckily for my SRK2 championship hopes, Luke Cooper, our team boss, and Sam Slater both set a faster lap than me in the A final. They were the only two to do so though. I set the 3rd fastest lap of the whole event, well, the finals anyway, but the finals were the fastest race of the day because of the conditions. So yeah, I am beyond happy with my pace. Little bit frustrated by the mistake, because that spin clearly cost me the chance at a podium, because the difference, I was on 40 points after the heats. 42 points was 17th place. My 40 points put me in 27th place. So 1 position more from my heats and I'd have jumped nearly 10 positions depending on lap times. So that was a little bit unlucky. Well, not, yeah, it was a little bit dumb of me to make that mistake basically, because I would have been right up there competing with the front guys. It does, however, mean because I didn't qualify in the top 40% after the heats, I haven't earned a strike against my name as an SRK2 driver towards promotion. You get 2 strikes in your first 5 rounds before you get promoted up to SRK1, and I did not earn one of those, whereas 4 guys did, which was my 3 teammates, Freddie, Wade and Shane, and then Jason Ford, who is the other SCR driver that is a questionable include in SRK2 based off their previous racing history. But yeah, hopefully I'm relying on the auto promotion system to not mean that I get kind of unlucky, or I'm not sure of the right phrase, but yeah, last year was certainly frustrating to lose out on a lot of podiums to drivers that were not SRK2 standard. So I'm really hoping that the auto promotion does its thing this year, although it may be that they then steal a couple of podiums before that, but we will see. Today was a great chance at a podium that I unfortunately missed, but 5th in class is by no means a bad result, and 25th overall I think it was, it'll be up on screen, was definitely not a bad result. Nice middle of the road result just to get some good points on the board, and it is, you know, not so low that we're worrying about dropped rounds this early, so that's always a good one. Get a nice banker, decent position in, and see how we go from there. But thank you very much for watching this one, and as always, drop a like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Check out the little clips on TikTok and Instagram, all the good stuff like that, and we'll see you for the next one from SRK from Hereford. And we also have the excitement of Club 100 coming up on the channel as well, so we'll see you for those ones hopefully, and yeah, see you next time.